Part 2. My sister damaged my car before my dream job interview because she was jealous that I got the call and not her. Now she's demanding I pay for her therapy because our parents cut her off after finding out the truth. I was still processing all of this when my phone started blowing up with messages from Amy. She must have realized I had evidence because suddenly her tone changed completely. She started begging me not to go to the police, saying she'd pay for the damages, that she was just upset and wasn't thinking straight. But I had already filed the report and honestly, I was done enabling her behavior. Our parents found out what happened later that day. Mom was in tears, and Dad. I've never seen him so angry. Their faces when they watched the security footage broke my heart. Mom kept pausing it and rewinding, as if watching it again would somehow make it not real. Dad, who had always been the calm one, the mediator, actually had to leave the room. When he came back, his eyes were red and his hands were shaking. They've always tried to be understanding with Amy's competitive nature, always made excuses for her behavior, always insisted that she just needed more time to mature. When I was younger, they'd come for me after her outbursts with phrases like she's your sister, she loves you in her own way or she'll grow out of it eventually. Even after the science fair incident, they convinced themselves it was just a phase. But this was different. This wasn't a teenage tantrum or a competitive streak gone too far. This was calculated, premeditated destruction. The security footage showed Amy methodically circling my car for almost an hour, taking breaks between acts of vandalism as if savoring each moment of destruction. The timestamp showed she'd arrived at 2:47 a.m. and didn't leave until 3:52 a.m. She'd brought tools, a knife for the tires, a hammer for the windows, even different colors of spray paint. This wasn't impulse, this was planned revenge. They told her she needed professional help and that until she got it, they wouldn't support her financially anymore. It wasn't just about the money, they were cutting off emotional support too. No more weekly dinners, no more shopping trips with Mom, no more Dad fixing things at her apartment. For the first time in her life, Amy was facing real consequences for her actions. This sent Amy into a complete meltdown. She started posting all over social media about how I had ruined her life by reporting her to the police, how our parents were abandoning her when she needed them most, and how this was all my fault for showing off about the interview. Some of our relatives actually started taking her side, saying I should have handled it within the family instead of getting the police involved. To make matters even more complicated, I got the job offer 2 days later. The email came while I was sitting in my temporary rental car, trying to figure out how to afford both the insurance deductible and next month's rent. It was everything I had hoped for, a 6-figure salary that would double my current income, comprehensive benefits including mental health coverage, which I definitely needed now, and even a substantial signing bonus that would cover my car repairs with plenty left over. Under normal circumstances, I would have been jumping up and down, calling everyone I knew, maybe even splurging on an expensive dinner to celebrate. Instead, I sat there in the parking lot, crying tears that I couldn't even tell were from joy or sorrow. I felt guilty for feeling happy about the job. Not because I did anything wrong. I had worked my butt off for this opportunity, but because my success seemed to be the final wedge tearing our family apart. The worst part was that I couldn't even share this moment with my parents without worrying about how they'd handle it with Amy. Mom had always been the one to take us both out for ice cream to celebrate good news, and Dad would always make these terrible dad jokes about his successful daughters. Now they were caught between celebrating with me and worrying about Amy's mental state. That's when Amy hit me with her latest demand. She wants me to pay for her therapy since our parents cut her off. She claims that since my actions led to her losing their support, I'm responsible for helping her get better. She even had the nerve to say that paying for her therapy would be cheaper than pressing charges for the car damage. I don't know what to do. Part of me feels terrible about everything that's happened, but another part is just angry. This was supposed to be one of the happiest moments of my life, and she turned it into a nightmare. The police are moving forward with charges, and my insurance is handling the car repairs, but the family drama just keeps escalating. Update 1. Thank you all for your supportive comments and advice. A lot has happened in the past week, and I wanted to share some updates. First, I started my new job, and it's been amazing. My team is incredibly supportive, and the work is exactly what I wanted to do. They were even understanding when I had to take a half day off for court proceedings. Speaking of court, Amy was charged with vandalism and ordered to pay restitution for the damage to my car. She also got community service and mandatory counseling. During the hearing, she tried to play the victim, crying about how she was just having a mental health crisis and needed help, not punishment. The judge wasn't buying it, especially after seeing the gleeful text she sent me that morning. Our parents attended the hearing but sat on my side of the courtroom. That seemed to hit Amy harder than the actual sentence. She's been posting cryptic quotes about toxic families and betrayal on social media, but most people who know the whole story aren't sympathetic. The most surprising development came from our aunt, Mom's sister, who finally told us about something that happened years ago. Apparently, when Amy was in college, she did something similar to her roommate who got an internship she wanted. The roommate didn't press charges, and our aunt helped cover up the whole thing. She says she regrets not speaking up then because maybe Amy would have gotten help sooner. Our parents are in family therapy now, trying to process everything. They feel guilty for not seeing the signs earlier, but their therapist is helping them understand that Amy's actions are her own responsibility. They're standing firm on their decision to cut off financial support until she gets professional help. Update 2. It's been a month since my last update, and things have taken an unexpected turn. Amy actually started going to therapy, not because I agreed to pay for it, I didn't, but because she finally hit rock bottom. After the court hearing, she lost her job. Apparently, her company found out about the vandalism charges, and since she worked in a position of trust, they terminated her employment. She tried to blame me for this too, but even she seemed to realize how ridiculous that was. With no job and no support from our parents, she had to move out of her expensive apartment. She's now living with our cousin Sarah, who agreed to take her in on the condition that she continues therapy and looks for work. Sarah's always been the most level-headed person in our family, and she's been sending me updates about Amy's progress.